Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Dominic Goodman about First Kill, which is going to be streaming on Netflix June 10th. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you having me.
Vampires. They have been around for centuries, and they were never going away in popular culture. What's it like being on a show where vampires are focal point?
Oh, I grew up watching Blade. So for me, it was like, it was a really awesome opportunity, even reading the script and then getting the opportunity to be a part of it was pretty sick.
Yeah.
I think since Blade, specifically for me, there hasn't been too many people of color in the vampire world. And so now being a part of it and being a hunter on this show, it's pretty dope.
That's really well said. No, absolutely. That's great that you said that, for sure. That's amazing. And okay, so here's the thing. So we love going in fresh. We love the little teasers here and there, right?
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the show that can get us hyped, but is not giving it away? Like, I'm giving you a task here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're definitely giving me a
I'm
challenge.
putting you on the spot, 100%. But it's like, you know what I mean? Like, what can we expect from the show specifically?
Okay, first off, I will say this. This is a family of monster hunters. While I will say the show has like a heavy presence of vampires, we are a family of monster hunters. So whatever fans want to think of that before you get to actually see what it is like our family does.
Yep.
I think it's going to be pretty exciting to see a full Black family in this world of sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously you've got some great actors like Elizabeth Mitchell playing a vampire. So for the vampire fans, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
We've got some action. I will say there's some cool action. I got to do a lot of my stunts, so.
You passed, man. You passed. If you're wondering if you passed or not, I can say
I think
you passed.
I'm like trying to what can I say that's not spoiler related?
From what I'm reading about it, from what I know, Dominic, there's a lot of genre bending happening here. You know what I mean? There's like a lot happening, right? You're gonna get.
What have you read? What have you?
Well, I just read. Like, from what I hear, it's gonna be something that obviously caters to the YA, the young adult, right? And that's popping right now, especially with Netflix. So that must be exciting too, right?
Well, it's very interesting. So for me, our showrunner Felicia Henderson, she did Punisher. She was a producer on Punisher, and as you can tell, I'm a nerd, Marvel nerd. So when I seen that, I was like, oh, this is going to be crazy. And then I read the script, and I was like, wow, this is pretty sick that they're fitting a show like this into the YA, because there isn't really anything like this.
No.
So I think it's going to be cool.
Do you it's interesting, not your first Netflix project, He's All That, you read that. Does it happen that you just get to work on different genres, different projects, or is that something Dominic Goodman hopes for when he kind of jumps into the world of storytelling?
Yeah, no, this is something that I could definitely say has been a goal of mine after doing Young Rock.
Yep.
I was like, the next thing I want to do is action. And I kind of had this goal since I was a kid. I remember jumping off my bed thinking I could fly and busting my head open. So when I got the opportunity to go on set and, they're training me in different forms of fighting and weapons, it felt like for me, it was like natural for me being there. And I've also been an athlete my whole life. So it's cool that I get to use some of my personal skills now for this role. And it's awesome being able to just get into this world. I didn't specifically seek it. When the audition came, I knew though immediately. I was like, yo, I need to play Apollo on First Kill. Like, I need this. Wow. And it happened. So
that's amazing. Yeah. You mentioned you're a nerd. Peter Parker's chilling behind you. And so here's the thing. I'm just curious for you. I'm a 90s kid. When I had like a Superman shirt on or a Batman shirt or a Spider-Man shirt, I was teased. Like, what are you wearing and everything? Now I wear it. I'm the most popular kid in school. You know what I mean? People will ask me where I got the shirt. It's kind of weird, eh? That like geek culture and nerd culture is like the biggest thing of all time now.
Yeah, I think, well, for me, I remember the very first movie I seen was X-Men, and I was a kid. And how it happened was actually by accident. Me and my older brother were watching Chicken Run, and the rest of my family were watching X-Men. And yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting you to say
No,
chicken.
exactly. It's like how it happened was interesting. So me and my older brother were in the theater, and it was just us two. The theater's empty because it was the night before.
Yeah.
And a random guy just sat next to me and my brother, and we were like creeped out. So we left the theater to X-Men. And when we watched X-Men, we were like, whoa, this is sick.
I'm
I know.
sorry. No, Chicken Run. Look, I love that movie, but I just
Yeah. That's how it happened.
I just wasn't expecting that one. I was expecting another one.
I mean, I was a kid. I was like,
well, dude, I remember seeing like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Like, I remember like getting out of that theater and being like, that was like the coolest thing.
So that's how it happened for me. Was started with X-Men, then my dad took us to Spider-Man, then Iron Man, and every single one.
But you get out of the theater and you're like a kid, right? You're like, this was like the coolest thing, right? You're like, I want to go like fight crime, right? Like you're like motivated after the movie.
Yeah, I was in second grade, and I remember pinching my hand right here, acting like I got bit by a spider in class. And I remember this memory so vividly, and I remember I was acting all sick, like I just got bit by a spider, and then I got on the playground, and I was like running and jumping off stuff. So Spider-Man has definitely, like, since I was a kid, that's been like, oh, who wouldn't want to play Spider-Man?
It's interesting you mentioned Blade, because it kind of has to do with the next question I had to ask you also, but like he's all that. Like reimaginings or reboots or whatever the heck you want to call them. You know what I mean? Yeah. I still don't know what we can call them. I feel like it depends on the project. Reboots, sequels, reimagine. I don't even know. You know what I mean? But continuations or whatever. He's All That, you know, She's All That was the first movie and everything. There's going to be a new Blade and everything. As a storyteller, do you see the reboots and the reimaginings as just like an opportunity maybe for you as a storyteller? Because like the more they bring back things, there's more chances out there, right?
There are certain things that I think should never be touched.
I agree.
You know, like it's like, this is a masterpiece. Let's not.
You know which one? You know, I do you know what I want to? I have one on top of my head. I want to know. Do you have one on the top of your head?
I have one on the top of my head.
Okay, you want to say it at the same time?
Okay, I mean, I wonder if they're going to be the same one, but 100%. All right, go ahead.
This might be the greatest moment ever.
I really hope.
On three, okay?
Go ahead.
1, 2, 3. E.T.
Back to the Future. Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, Back to the Future, I agree, but E.T.
I mean, you can't see, but there's a little Nike mag back there.
Yeah. E.T.
Okay. Okay. E.T. shouldn't be touched, but I also don't think like
Back to the Future should not be touched. I agree with that.
Yeah. E.T. was a little before my time though, so I don't really have I mean, so is Back to the Future.
We should like go back in time, like edit this and like be like, we should both say it. Like, we should stop the interview now. Let's go see Back to the Future.
This was a good one.
Oh,
it wasn't my first.
Well, no, I just look at E.T. That's the type of movie that like I could just watch over and over again, and I'm kind of like, in my opinion, like to each their own. But I'm like, that's a perfect movie. Like I love that movie. You know what I mean?
I might have to rewatch that and revisit that because I think the last time I seen it when I was a kid. So.
Yeah, but there's some things. But like getting back to the question though, like it is pretty cool though that there's kind of this combination of like they're rebooting and rehatching certain things, and then there's new ideas and new things as well. It's a cool world, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting to hear that like we get a Blade coming out, and as a Marvel fan, I think they're finding ways to kind of say they were all always within the same universe. But He's All That. It was a great opportunity. Working with Matthew Lillard, that was always a goal of mine. I loved him in Scream, and so being able to like have some of the original cast members from these projects rejoin the later rebooted project, I think that's cool. It's kind of nostalgic. It's not something I've specifically sought out. I think that I love the idea of new IP. There are some projects I would like to reboot, but I think I would have to think about it before I say it.
What if I swerved you and it was like, say your movie at 1, 2, 3, and I was like Chicken Run?
I don't want to give anybody ideas. They might, Chicken Run reboot, right? A live action Chicken Run.
You're a big horror movie fan?
That's not necessarily my cup of tea.
You like work, like you'd work in the genre, but in terms of watching it is a bit. Some people just like can't. Man, so I'm a big horror movie fan, and like I've interviewed some people that are in like the scariest horror movies I've ever like seen, right? And they're the leads in it, and they can't do horror movies like as viewers. Isn't that weird? That's crazy, eh?
Are you from Canada?
I am, yes.
Okay, cool. I just
but the show, I'm Canadian, but the show is global. Like Pop.
No, I heard the A. I just had to comment on the A. But I think specifically for me, like, okay, for this project, First Kill.
Yeah.
there are some elements that could be, people might classify as horror. When you're dealing with
but that's what I said at the beginning, like genre bending. Like I feel that a little bit. Yeah.
And I think that's cool that there are moments of so many different genres in one show. I think that's awesome.
Yep.
Specifically, I was afraid as a kid watching like Freddy Krueger and like those type of movies.
Yeah.
So slasher movies, I'm fine watching. When it's a normal person doing all of the weird, scary stuff, I think it's fine. It's something about like Freddy and Jason that I never grew up enjoying.
You know what my method was? Because I used to get scared from horror movies. And I had a method that worked. So when I would see like The Grudge, or I would see like, first of all, one of the coolest things is I had a chance to interview Takashi Shimizu, who's like the director and writer of the original Grudges and the new ones as well. And I literally was like, "Thank you for the nightmares." And he was like, "My pleasure." You know what I mean? But like, I remember seeing that movie, Dominic, and like being like freaked out and being like when the scene where Sarah Michelle Gellar was like in the shower and the hand behind her, freaking out. So I would be like, "It's okay. It's Daphne from Scooby-Doo. It's just Buffy." Like I've seen her before. Amityville Horror with Ryan Reynolds. Be like, "It's okay. It's Van Wilder. It's not real." You know what I mean?
No, that is a very good way to take yourself out of it. It's like, oh no, this is just this favorite actor.
It's so great. Dominic Goodman is a storyteller. That's what you do, right?
That's what I do. I think when people watch First Kill, they're going to be a little bit surprised, especially like from the few things that I've been shown in, like Young Rock and He's All That. It's such a different world.
Yeah. What excites you about storytelling?
For me, it was always an escape when I was watching actors on screen. I got to envision myself in their shoes for a little bit. And so for me, being a young Black actor and when I was a young Black kid, I was watching Will Smith and Bad Boys and watching Men in Black, and I was able to escape into that world for a little bit, or Indiana Jones, to Star Wars. And, it's kind of inspiring when you see an actor go through something on screen and you connect with it. And then it's like, oh, wow, I feel like I just went through it, even though I did it, and I can kind of learn from what I just watched.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, like us, after we saw Spider-Man, we were like, could we just get bit by it? Yeah, I know. It was absolutely that's really well said. Dominic, thank you so much for coming on Pop Turn. It was so great chatting with you.
Yeah, it's been awesome, man. I hope you guys enjoy First Kill, and we're gonna have another conversation after you watch it because it's gonna be totally different.
June 10th on Netflix, and where can people follow you on social media to keep update with everything?
Dominic D. Goodman on Instagram, Dominic D. Goodman on Twitter. I don't use TikTok, but I think it is also Dominic D. Goodman on there.
They're going to go watch First Kill June 10th on Netflix, and they're going to go also watch Chicken Run. This has been Pop Turn.
YouTube.com/PopTurn. Plug for Chicken Run now.
YouTube.com/Pop Turn for previous episodes. Until next time, so Dominic Goodman and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.